A wedding is supposed to be the happiest day of a couple's life, but for groom Aaron White, it turned into an absolute nightmare. Just hours after marrying his best friend, Kayla White, a violent clash ended with his new father in law, Jason Morgan, dead. Aaron, who was punched and shot in the hand, fired his own gun 7 times. But was this a clear cut case of self defense by a man pushed to the edge? Or was it cold blooded murder? This is a story of how a wedding day descended into tragedy, tearing a family apart and sparking a legal firestorm that has split a community right down the middle. It all went down on the night of July 13th, 2024, at an outdoor wedding in Butts County, Georgia. The celebration began with joy, but as the reception wore on, the vibe completely soured. The bride, Kayla, had to confront a relative who was intoxicated and behaving inappropriately, asking him to leave. That confrontation sparked a fight, and her new husband, Aaron, stepped in to break it up. That's when things went from bad to worse. The bride's 44-year-old stepfather, Jason Morgan, jumped into the fray and allegedly punched Aaron right in the face. The situation then escalated dramatically. A short time later, Morgan and the other relative came back, according to the sheriff's office. The relative fired a gun and a bullet struck Aaron White in the hand. Morgan then began chasing the wounded groom. White managed to get back to his truck and retrieve his own firearm. He told investigators it felt like a life or death situation. As Morgan allegedly charged at him, White claimed he had already been threatened and opened fire. Jason Morgan was shot 7 times and died at the scene. After the smoke cleared, two completely different stories began to form. Aaron White has been unwavering, insisting he acted purely in self-defense. I was able to draw my weapon, defending myself and everybody else, he stated. He says he genuinely feared for his life. The last time I seen him, he was threatening to cut me. So it's a fear for my life. And Aaron's story gets a massive boost from a pretty unexpected corner. The county's top cop, Butts County Sheriff Gray Long, has publicly called the shooting the clearest case of self-defense that I have personally seen in 30 years of law enforcement. The sheriff has even said bluntly, there's an innocent man in my jail. But the district attorney, Jonathan Adams, isn't buying it. While he concedes White might have had a right to defend himself from a fistfight, he questions if the response was proportional. Adam argues the real legal issue is whether shooting an unarmed man 7 times was a reasonable reaction, he stated. The law requires a person to have a reasonable belief of receiving seriously bodily injury or death before they can use deadly force. The prosecution's whole case is built on the idea that Aaron's response was over the line. This case is already a wild ride, but it's about to get even crazier with legal bombshells and accusations of dirty politics. Before we dive into that, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because you won't want to miss how this plays out. The legal battle here has been a total roller coaster. In April of 2025, a grand jury looked at the evidence and decided not to indict Aaron White for felony murder, agreeing that he acted in self-defense. It looked like the case was closed. Wrong. In a move that legal experts called highly unusual, District Attorney Adams presented the case to a second grand jury in January of 2026. This time, armed with what he claimed was new ballistics evidence and insights from a scene visit, the new grand jury returned an indictment for felony murder and aggravated assault. White was arrested and held on a $100,000 bond, which he later posted. This stunning reversal immediately led to accusations that this was all about politics. White's defense attorney, Brett Dunn, accused the DA of using high-profile case to boost his campaign for a superior court judgeship. The district attorney fired back, pointing out that Dunn himself is running for state senate, suggesting maybe he was the one playing politics. Though all this, can you even imagine being the bride, Kayla White? She has stood by her husband, all while mourning her stepfather. I just have to have faith the truth will come out eventually, she said. Meanwhile, Jason Morgan's father, Dan, has expressed his faith that the justice system will sort out the tragedy, stating justice will prevail for my son. So what happens when a groom's cry of self-defense goes hand to hand with a prosecutor's charge of murder? All playing out in the public eye. Aaron White, with the backing of his wife, and the county sheriff insists he was just a man who feared for his life. The district attorney insists he's a killer who used excessive force. Now I'm turning it over to you. Based on everything we know about the chaotic night, do you think this was a clear-cut case of self-defense? Or did the groom's response cross the line into murder? Let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments below, respectfully.